years. And now she helps those with Parkinson's every day use their voices through singing by leading the tremolo singers. She also helps them enjoy the beat of life through victory drumming. And she leads the choir for the World Parkinson's Congress. Please help me in celebrating this year's Service of Excellence Award recipient and our guest of honor for the Service of Excellence
Thank you so much. It was the best promise that I gave to my dad. And it changed my life. Parkinson's changes our lives. Every person sitting here this evening, our lives have changed because of Parkinson's. I want to ask you a question. How many of you have at one time in your life felt like your entire world was shaking? I kind of feel that way right now. I'm much better doing this, conducting than speaking, so I am shaking. But those living with Parkinson's, one of the first symptoms that comes is a shaking tremor. And I remember back in 1995 when I was with Dad, and he says to me, "Judy, don't tell your mother, but my body is shaking all over on the inside." And it took over a year for Dad to diagnose with Parkinson's, and I hear from others that it does take a while for Parkinson's to be diagnosed. Parkinson's is very unique. But eventually, after visiting various clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest and even down to the Mayo Clinic, it was Dad's general practitioner that said, "Ken, you have Parkinson's." We are all here this evening because we each have a personal link to Parkinson's. Whether diagnosed with Parkinson's, a family member, a friend, a colleague, we have a desire to help. There are two ways of helping: financially and actively. So tonight, our philanthropic financial endeavor to help the Parkinson's community will generate the ability to offer active programs. Not for those just living with Parkinson's, but their caregivers, their care partners, their families. As it states in the website for the NWPF, Northwest Parkinson's Foundation is the lifeline of hope for over 100,000 people impacted by Parkinson's in the Northwest, including Alaska, Montana, Idaho, and Washington. The NWPF helps the Parkinson's community survive day to day. They are often the first voice one hears after being diagnosed by Parkinson's when they call the Northwest Parkinson's Foundation. They have a very open ear on the other end, a very caring heart that can answer 1,000 questions. It also has, Northwest Parkinson's has a myriad of events and programs. So with the programs, some of them are live in your communities, some of them, and will be for a long time, still via Zoom. And I have to read them so I don't miss any. Dance, Nia, yoga, Tai Chi, Feldenkrais, boxing, drumming, singing. Drumming, singing, that's me. I love to drum. I've been drumming since I was 11 years old, and I love to sing. And nothing is better than singing with others. So let me get back to my personal story with Parkinson's. As I mentioned, my dad, Ken Pritchard, was diagnosed in 1995. And Dad was an amazing musician. He played the piano, I say, in a combination of Roger Williams and Liberace. And I'm dating myself, and I'm probably dating quite a few people here this evening. But he was amazing. He couldn't read music, but oh, could he play. He also loved to play the ukulele, the banjo, the harmonica. But as his Parkinson's progressed, he struggled to play anything. So I would sit at the piano and play, and we would sing his favorite songs, anything from good old gospel hymns to Perry Como and Andy Williams. It was absolutely beautiful. And as we sat there, his voice was weak, but I could feel the joy in his heart, and I could see the twinkle in his eyes. It was beautiful. So just before Dad passed away in 2002, he urged me to stay involved with the Parkinson's community. I promised Dad that I would, when and where I could. And you hear it in my voice. Okay, Dad, I will. So, when I arrived home to Seattle from his memorial service, which was in Calgary, Alberta, where our family was born and raised, I am Canadian. I'm dual. My mother's from Oklahoma. And anyway, when I got home, in the mail, the day I arrived home, there was an invitation inviting me to go to Washington, D.C. to lobby with the Parkinson's Action Network. I immediately looked up. I know he was up there somewhere. And I said, Dad, I know I promised you I would get involved, but give me a bit more time. But no. Just a few weeks later, this little Canadian was flying to Washington, D.C. to lobby with representatives from almost every state. And I must add, less than a handful of us did not have Parkinson's. I met a young man there that was diagnosed when he was 17 years old. I met a group of commercial pilots and Air Force pilots. I met people that were raised and living on farms. I met people that were raised and living in cities, all with Parkinson's. And the main takeaway that I had that first year in Washington, D.C., from guest researchers that were there with us, is that Parkinson's is both environmental and hereditary. And Parkinson's is a disorder, not a disease. A disease, you know the cause. A disorder, you do not know the cause. A disease, you know the cause. A disorder, you do not know the cause. Wow. I was so glad that I became involved with the Parkinson's community. So when I returned, I stayed in touch with a lot of the people that I met in Washington, D.C., and I continued to lobby in Olympia, in our state capital, which was amazing. I was working in corporate sales at the time. It just happened that Olympia was one of my customers, as well as hospitals. And then one day, I was up at Evergreen Hospital, walking down kind of in the dungeons where there's a few rooms for meetings. And one of the doors was open to a room. And I heard someone say, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have someone come to the Booth Gardner Parkinson Center and lead music sessions? Wow. I feel it right now as if that I was there that day. My body froze. And then my body literally walked me into that room, and I can still see the table where these people were sitting, and they're all looking at me with these huge eyes. And I said, forgive me, I was just walking past, your door was open. I heard you say that you need someone to lead music sessions for the Booth Gardner Parkinson Center. I volunteer. And so still their jaws were down here on their chest. And I continued to say, well, my company will pay for me to be here every week. I will lead sessions. I have a master's degree in music, and I'm very familiar with Parkinson's, and I would really like to do this. So I went back and had some more negotiations with my boss, and soon I was leading, they also bought a keyboard, and I was leading music sessions for the Booth Gardner Parkinson Center every Friday. And it expanded, so I had people recovering from heart surgery, brain injury, stroke. The healing power of music was helping renew inspire, and bring joy. The promise I gave my father in 2002 to stay involved with the Parkinson's community has grown exponentially over the past 20 years. The power of hope through music. It has allowed me to reach the global Parkinson's community. Because of my work with the Northwest Parkinson's community, the World Parkinson's Coalition heard about me and asked if I would lead a world choir for the WPC conferences that meet every 3 years in a different country. So now a medical conference, this is medical, opens with the healing power of music. We have neurologists, brain surgeons, pharmaceutical companies, people with Parkinson's, all coming together to open this amazing world medical conference. And next year, July 2023, it's going to be in Barcelona. And by the way, I'm looking at all of you. I've noted all of you here. The choir registration is now open, so we can all go to Barcelona together and represent the Northwest Parkinson's Foundation. Music is the language of the heart, of the soul, going places where words alone cannot penetrate. This evening, I know you're getting busy to eat, so I've heard a lot of woohoos. So I'm going to do some acknowledging, and you can just woohoo on your table when I bring you up. I would love to acknowledge those that are here, from the tremolo singers and the victory drummers. And I would also like to recognize other leaders of the programs that the Northwest Parkinson's offers. I know there are a few here this evening. Additionally, I would like to introduce you and big woohoo for the Pass to Pass hikers. This is a hike that we lead people with Parkinson's on. And also my family. I am blessed to have a lot of my family here this evening, including my sister and brother-in-law who have come down from Powell River, British Columbia to be with us.
Love you, sister.
Love you.
So proud of you.
Yep.
Now, I know you're getting ready to eat, but I would like for you all just to look around this room. We are an amazing community. And just a few weeks ago, I was talking to one of the tremolo singers, and he said to me, "You know, Judi, this is a community that I would never have joined if I had not been diagnosed with Parkinson's. It is a community that no one wants, but it is an amazing, caring group of people that I am so blessed to be a part of." That is exactly how I feel too. Thank you. I love that quote. So we are all here together to build this community of hope. And put down your forks, put down your knives, whatever you have in your hand. Remember, I said I am a choral director. We have to get ready to bid this evening, and the best way to do that is through song. And our songs, we also move our bodies, okay? And this is the #1 warm-up for the tremolo singers. It has 5 words in the lyrics, just 5. Repeat after me. I'm alive.
I'm alive.
Awake.
Awake.
Alert.
Alert.
Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
I love that. Okay. Now we're going to sing it. It also is choreographed. So it goes like this. I'm alive. Awake. Alert. You give yourself a hug. Enthusiastic. Tremolo singers, stand if you can and help us out if you know this, please. Okay, are we ready?
Ready.
I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. I'm alive, awake, alert.
Go backwards.
alert, awake, alive. Alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic.
Now we don't stop there, we double the time. I'm
Alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. I'm alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. I'm alive, awake, alert, alert, awake, alive. Alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic.
Music definitely stirs emotion. And the title of this evening's event is The Power of Hope. Hope is an emotion that stirs from the heart. Hope is the belief that circumstances will get better. It is not a wish for things to get better. It is an actual belief, knowledge that things will get better. Parkinson's requires hope, a steadfast determination, believing that eventually a cure will come. The power of hope encourages us to be bold. So tonight we are all going to be bold. We are alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. So let us financially support the Northwest Parkinsons enthusiastically by actively raising our bid cards throughout this evening. Thank you.